2024. Go ahead and call this meeting to order and note for the record that all members of council are present and accounted for except for Councilman Mitchell and Councilman Will. They won't be joining us this evening. And we always begin our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you're willing and able, please stand and join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first item up on our agenda this evening is the presentations and proclamations. And the first proclamation will be proclamation and presentation for the United States Department of Transportation Road Safety Art Contest winner, Sanvi Bahai. If you would like to come forward, please. Your parents are certainly welcome to join you if you'd like. And Danny McPeters, Federal Transit Authority. You have department.
A written agenda.
I don't know.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Someone's got them down there.
My name's Dave Peters. We're United States Department of Transportation, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Our mission is to save lives by reducing crashes involving commercial motor vehicles or large trucks and buses. So annually, we do an art contest, Our Roads, Our Safety. It's for anyone ages kindergarten through 12th grade. We generally get 300 to 500 submissions. And I'm very proud to announce that Sanvi was the winner of the 6th to 8th grade category. So congratulations, young lady.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, please. I'd like to thank the Department of Transportation for hosting this contest and allowing kids to express their creativity by raising awareness of road safety. I'd also like to thank my parents for always supporting me and encouraging me. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll read you your proclamation now. And this is a proclamation by the Mayor and Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, United States Department of Transportation Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Road Safety Art Contest winner, Sanvi Bahai. Is that pardon? Judge, my apologies. So whereas the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, as an agency of the United States Department of Transportation, holds an annual road safety art contest and invites students across the country to use their creativity to raise awareness of how to stay safe on the road, whether it is when driving, biking, or walking around large trucks and buses. And whereas the art contest is open to students in kindergarten through 12th grade, and this year the agency received almost 300 contest entrants. Artwork is encouraged to include drivers, bikers, and pedestrians sharing the road safely. Competition judges select only one grand prize winner for each age category. And whereas this year, Alpharetta resident and Webbridge Middle School student, Sanvi Bajaj, close enough? Okay, was selected as the grand prize winner of the 6th through 8th grade category for the 2024 Federal Motor Carrier Road Safety Art Contest. And whereas road safety and road sharing is everyone's responsibility. And we are incredibly proud that Sanvi created an original artwork for the contest and was ultimately selected as a grand prize winner. And now, therefore, we, the Mayor and the Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, do hereby congratulate Sanvi. We appreciate Sanvi's efforts to help promote the importance of road safety, not only within the City of Alpharetta, but across the country. So proclaimed, this 21st day of October, 2024, by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia. Congratulations. The next proclamation will be by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Alpharetta for Women's Cancer Awareness Month. If you would, John Paul Kroon from Wellstar Hospital is here to talk a little bit about this, and I would also like some representatives that would like to pass out perhaps some ribbons for the awareness of cancer, Women's Cancer Month.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Women's Cancer Month, very important month in healthcare. Wellstar certainly is one of those organizations that celebrates this by recognizing women's cancer, and furthermore, all of the preventative things that we can do and we can do for our loved ones to help with cancer prevention, including annual mammography exams. Very important for all of the loved ones in our lives to do this, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about cancer awareness.
Thank you, John Paul. Would y'all like to come forward? So I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. This is a proclamation by the Mayor and the Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, Women's Cancer Awareness Month, whereas nationally, September is recognized as Gynecological Cancer Awareness Month, and October is recognized as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Cancer is the second leading cause of death behind heart disease, and it is estimated that 39.3% of the population will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life, affecting families all across the nation. And whereas breast cancer is the most common cancer, affecting 1 in 8 women in the United States every year. This year, the American Cancer Society estimates over 310,000 women will receive the unfortunate diagnosis that they have breast cancer. Over the past 33 years, likely because of extensive research, education, screening, and early detection, mortality rates for those with breast cancer have decreased by 44%. And whereas there are 5 main gynecological cancers, all of which affect female reproductive organs, this year the American Cancer Society estimates that 116,000 women will be diagnosed with a type of gynecological cancer. Unfortunately, the mortality rate for gynecological cancer is almost double that of breast cancer. And whereas, by continuing to expand and increase awareness of local medical and hospital facilities, education, testing and screening, and nonprofit organizations to those impacted by women's cancer will help to end these types of cancers. And whereas, this month, we wish to honor and celebrate women who brave this journey and also recognize the numerous healthcare and research professionals who work to find a cure to eradicate women's cancer and protect the health of future generations. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and the Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, do hereby recognize the month of October 2024 as Women's Cancer Awareness Month and urge all our citizens to celebrate, support, and remember all those affected by and working towards a cure for women's cancers. So proclaimed this 21st day of October 2024 by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you, sir, for all you and Wellstar and all of your staff do. We appreciate it. So the next item up on our agenda this evening will be the consent agenda. And the consent agenda consists of the city council meeting minutes from the meeting of October 7th, 2024. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards on the consent agenda?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak about those items, now's your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the consent agenda for October 21st.
Second.
Change that, that's the meeting of 10/7, not the 21st.
Okay, I was just looking to confirm that, I thought. We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sorry, was that Councilman Dorito? Councilman Brady was the second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up on our agenda this evening is the public hearing items. First item is Z-24-13 DRB Group /12265 Charlotte Drive. Councilman Hypes?
Mr. Mayor and Council, the applicant is a client of my law firm on other matters, and I'll be recusing myself.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I was just waiting for. Ms. Eswine, do you mind?
An individual requesting to be heard on a matter related to the purpose of the hearing must be recognized by the mayor before addressing the city council. Upon rising to speak, the speaker must identify himself or herself and furnish a home or business address before proceeding with any comments or remarks. The council will allow proponents a total of 10 minutes to speak in support of an application. Opponents will be allowed 10 minutes to speak in opposition. Comments are accepted first from the applicant, followed by persons speaking in favor, and then from those in opposition. Upon conclusion of any opposing comments or presentations, the mayor will allow the applicant to offer rebuttal if any time is remaining in the originally allotted 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Woodman, please proceed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The item before you this evening is a request for rezoning to allow for the construction of a 41-lot, single-family detached subdivision on 36.78 acres. The proposed density would be 1.11 dwelling units per acre, and the rezoning request is to rezone the property from AG agriculture to R22, which is minimum 22,000 square foot lots, or about half-acre lots. I do have the location map on the overhead. This property is located at 12265 Charlotte Drive. It's near the northeast corner of Charlotte and Rucker Road. Property is currently developed with a small home, with the balance of the property being used for pasture land for livestock. Surrounding properties are zoned AG agriculture, R15, R12, and R22. The future land use designation of the property is very low density residential, which does support the requested rezoning proposal. This is the applicant's site plan. This is a bird's eye view of the site plan. You have Charlotte Drive here with access into the development. And then this is your civil site plan, which I'll use for this section of the presentation. The original request was for a 42-lot subdivision. The applicant did meet with some surrounding properties, made some changes to the plan, which resulted in them losing one lot. So it is a 41-lot subdivision. Access is shown here from Charlotte Drive. The homes the lots along Charlotte Drive, those homes will be oriented to Charlotte Drive. All the rest of the homes will be oriented to the new streets within the subdivision. As I mentioned, they're asking for R22, which is minimum 22,000 square foot lots. These lots range in size from just over 22,000 to up to 35,500 square feet, with the average lot size just under 26,000 square feet. It's a large common area running through the middle of the development. This area includes streams, wetlands, and stream buffers. There's also a large farm pond on the south end of the development. There is a mail kiosk and detention pond over on the east side of the development. There's some on-street parking to provide parking for the mail kiosk. The applicant also provided a tree protection plan, which shows the limits of disturbance within this development. Again, the applicant did work with surrounding property owners. Jennifer Oaks backs up to the development on the east side. And so they did make efforts to save trees on the property. So there'll be tree saves mainly around the perimeter, as well as through the middle section of the development where the stream exists. And then these dark areas represent the areas that will not be disturbed within the development. Of the trees that are shown on this plan, there are 63 trees being saved, including 33 specimen trees, and that does not include over 200 smaller boundary trees around the perimeter of the property that will also be saved. Just going back to the site plan, there are 4 detention ponds on this plan. You have the existing large farm pond that was created for irrigation purposes during the previous use of the property. There are 2 new ponds proposed on either side of this existing farm pond, as well as a new detention pond here on the east side of the development. Looking at the review criteria for rezoning, we felt that the zoning proposal was suitable as it relates to the use and development of adjacent and nearby properties, which are similarly developed. This proposal would not have significant impacts on the natural environment. The site plan is respecting the on-site stream buffers, as well as depicting tree saves throughout the development. And then the rezoning is supported by the future land use designation of the property, and it would result, it would be generally less dense than surrounding subdivisions. The applicant has limited the overall density to about half of what would be allowed under the R22 zoning district. So that would allow up to 2 units per acre. They're at 1.11 dwelling units per acre. The applicant also provided, actually before I get into their citizen participation report, I did want to just show you briefly, I'll let the applicant really focus in on their elevations, but they did provide several elevations of the homes that would be built in this community. They do represent more traditional architecture, which is consistent with the subdivisions that you see along Charlotte Drive and on this west side of the city. There's conditions that were recommended that are very similar to the newer subdivisions along Charlotte Drive, so that the homes within this development are consistent with what you see along Charlotte Drive. The applicant did provide a citizen participation report. They held a virtual meeting back in the middle of June, and they did receive some questions and comments at that meeting regarding stormwater runoff. That seemed to be one of the bigger concerns from surrounding properties, density, traffic, perimeter buffer, and fencing along Charlotte Drive. The applicant also heard similar concerns at the Community Zoning Information Meeting on July 10th. Again, there were public comments on some of the topics that I already mentioned. In addition, there were some comments about price points, questions about price points and what would happen to the wildlife on the property. And then we also received, staff received concerns from a resident in Jennifer Oaks. That resident backs up to where the detention pond is proposed on the east side of the development. That resident is unable to attend tonight's meeting and asked me to just bring forward a couple of his concerns. He has been working with the applicant with his concerns, and I think there were just 2 items that he asked me to bring up this evening to council before you make a decision. One had to do with, I guess there's a water ponding issue behind his backyard. And he is just asking for further clarity from the DRB group, who is the developer, who would be the developer of these homes, on how they will address the ponding issue. And then the second concern that he had is he would like a fence of some type on the boundary of his property, just to fence off the area between his property and the stormwater pond. I explained that the city's codes only required a buffer around the stormwater pond and that our codes do not require fencing. Also explained a lot of times fencing occurs around stormwater ponds based on the HOA's desire to lower their insurance rates. So insurance will typically give them a better rate if they put up a fence around that pond. And it did seem like safety was his issue. He stated in his email that it would be a safety hazard to have an open area between his yard and the stormwater pond, particularly with young children in the area. Let's see. And then this item was considered by Planning Commission at their September 5th meeting. There were 2 public comments at that meeting with concerns over stormwater runoff, the aesthetic, size, distance, and screening related to the stormwater pond adjacent to Jennifer Oaks, so that same pond that I was just referring to, and then also some comments regarding traffic problems on Mid-Broadwell and Charlotte. After consideration, Planning Commission recommended unanimous approval of the applicant's request, subject to the 21 conditions in the staff report in your packets, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Woodman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If the applicant would like to come forward, now is your opportunity to do so.
Miss, if you don't mind to turn on your microphone at the podium as well till you see the green light. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. That is turned on, and I see on my screen, but I don't see anything. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. My name is Jessica Hill. My business address is 600 Peachtree Street, and I represent DRB Homes. I'm joined tonight by Mike Busher, who's the division president of DRB, as well as Sotir Christopher, who is our project civil engineer. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the project. Just a couple of things. Mr. Woodman did an excellent job, as usual, of presenting the application. You can see the property here on the zoning map outlined in red. It's one of the few remaining AG-zoned properties in this area, and certainly one of the larger ones. The interesting thing about Charlotte Drive is the majority of the properties on Charlotte Drive, at least across the street, were rezoned to R22 and then R15 on the back. DRB Homes chose to go for R22 on the entire site rather than trying to increase the density on this site. And really thinking about how the site, from an aesthetic and a stream buffer perspective, kind of how it makes a sense of place. As indicated, it's 41 home sites. We started out with 42. And part of the reason we're delayed in getting to council is because we have made revisions to the site plans based on conversations with staff, based on conversations with homeowners. That resulted in changes in the limits of disturbance. It resulted in differences in infiltration. It resulted in new tree save areas. So, the updated plan that you see here is a result of all of those conversations. Just as mentioned, the subdivision density here, it's at 1.11 units per acre. For context, to the east, Jennifer Oaks is 1.37 units an acre. Across Charlotte Drive, it's 1.34, 1.69 units an acre, 1.28. And then to the north, it gets a little bit less dense with Charlotte Estates. Here's the aerial view of the site plan, a rendered site plan. You can see in the center there is a stream with the wetlands that were mentioned and the stream buffers. And the site has been designed to navigate around that. The aerial view that you saw previously. Our tree save plan, again, everything that you see in gray is a tree save area and a limits of disturbance area. There are more than 200 boundary trees around the site, and that's in addition to the specimen trees that were mentioned. So there's a pretty significant tree canopy that is going to be retained as part of this. And this tree save plan is one of the conditions that's included in the 21 conditions that was mentioned in addition to the site plan. We did do a traffic study. I'm happy to go into that in more detail, but the end result was that no traffic improvements were needed. The levels of service with this development were consistent with the existing levels of service, and so no improvements were needed. I'll flip through the home elevations. Happy to go through these in more detail. It's a variety of styles, trying to trend a little bit away from the modern farmhouse and get into a more of a traditional feel. The homes are expected to price in the 1.5 to 2 million range. They will have, 3-car garages. Everybody will have their own driveway. Flip through, and that is it. I'm going to reserve any remaining time for rebuttal. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay. Thank you. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if there's anyone here that would like to come forward, now's your opportunity.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and esteemed council members. My name is DJ Postals. I'm a resident of Jennifer Oaks at 1590 Harvest Lane, directly backing up to the proposed detention pond. I know that there is nothing stopping this development, and I expressed my concerns to Mr. Woodman and the community and Mike and DRB Homes about a month ago. I just want to reiterate formally for the record that having a detention pond of this size and magnitude, my concerns, my family's concerns are the valuation of my home. I know that we're going to be looking at this for our backyard and clearly looking down upon it from our master bedroom and other bedrooms. So I'm concerned around my home value and really the aesthetics. Now, Mike, about a month or so ago, gave me a commitment that they would work with me. I did formally submit some proposed pictures of some nice-looking detention ponds in the area and others that are not up to standard with what is proposed in the area. So I just sincerely hope, and I don't know if there's anything that we could do to get commitment. I know you said, Mike, that you'd work with me, but again, I'm here to formally express my concern. I want to record it here, and I'm confident, Mike, that you and DRB are going to work with me and address some of my recommendations to make sure that this detention pond is the most aesthetically appealing and or has the appropriate canopy and protection so that we can minimize that visual impact and keep my home's valuation. Beyond that, I have a lot of neighbors who similarly have just could not be here tonight and just wanted to, again, express that genuine, consistent concern and around water runoff. And the neighbor that Mr. Woodman spoke of is my neighbor to the right. And there is a pond and pooling behind his backyard, which also goes down to my neighbors in the left, the lowest point. So I assume that will be addressed via the detention pond. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Woodman, would you like to address any of the points?
I think one matter of procedure, Mr. Mayor, is that the applicant reserved her time for rebuttal. So if there are no more public comments, she has the opportunity to do that. I think would be more appropriate before staff addressed any questions.
Fair enough.
And for the record, you have 6 minutes and 42 seconds left for rebuttal.
Ooh, that's a long time. You don't need that. I'm showing a view here. This is a view from Jennifer Oaks of the stormwater pond. As you are probably can guess, there is no, oh, actually it's not showing on screen yet. Well, I'll just start talking. It'll eventually pop up. The site doesn't have any stormwater detention on it. So there's pooling today, which will be improved with the proposed development. Again, our civil engineer can speak to that to the extent you have technical questions. This is a view standing from the deck on the Jennifer Oaks side. You can see in the distance the wall of the detention pond area. And if you look, your conditions 14 and 15 require that utility structures, head walls have to be finished with decorative stone or brick if visible from adjacent properties, and stormwater ponds have to be aesthetically pleasing amenities with walking trails, seating areas, or parks. And they have to have an earthen bank on at least one side with a decorative wall. So there are conditions included in the staff's recommended conditions that will help mitigate the impact, the aesthetic of it. And again, this is what the intention is as far as what it will look like. We are confident that the existing pooling will improve when you are developing the property and bringing it up to the Alpharetta standards as far as stormwater goes. With that, I'm done.
Thank you. Mr. Woodman, is there anything you would like to add?
I think Jessica Hill covered the items that I was going to cover. We do have a zoning condition to address what the stormwater pond will look like in that area. We would recommend that DRB Group work with their neighbors, come up with a plan that they are agreeable to, and then submit that as part of the land disturbance permit. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I'd offer a motion this evening to approve public hearing item Z-24-13 from the DRB Group /12265 Charlotte Drive, as presented this evening.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Z-24-13 DRB Group /12265 Charlotte Drive as outlined in the motion by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel and seconded by Councilman Dorito. Any discussion? Councilman Brady?
Yeah, I wouldn't be remiss to just say it's a passing of the times. This was a property I think everybody in Alpharetta enjoyed looking at when the last kind of bit of pastors kind of left. And that, although I didn't meet the homeowner personally, I heard so many stories about him kind of coming up from in town and loving to be with his cows and spending time on the weekend to kind of come out. It was just a great story, and what a great fixture for our community. So it is kind of a passing to see this, but I know progress means sometimes we have this change. With that, I'd like to just thank staff and the applicant for really working together. This has been going on for a long time. There's been a lot of discussion on the hydrology. I remember walking through from, backs up to Jennifer Oaks and Fairfax and that, and walking up there, because we lived there for 18 years. I've walked up and down that piece with that beautiful little farm that's in between. And there is a lot of issues of stormwater. I think that was a lot of sensitivity of why it took so long to kind of get to this point, was to make sure it was done right. And I respect the homeowner, Jennifer Oaks, and I believe that DRB will honor that, and certainly with the conditions that are here in place. But hydrology was a significant issue here. I just want to thank staff and the applicant for working through that. Thank you.
Councilman Dorito.
I just wanted to compliment the community and the DRB. We see a lot of applications, and this one is frankly very complete. We didn't ask a lot of questions because it's a really good project. It's going to have some really fine homes that represent the best of Alpharetta, I think. And as I listened to our neighbor out there regarding the stormwater pond, I would imagine that there's going to be a solution there that they're very satisfied with. It almost has to be nice because of the level of home that you're building there. So I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to this development coming out of the ground. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve as outlined by Mayor Pro Tem, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously. Congratulations. So the next item up on our agenda is this new business, and that's the invitation to bid 24-014 Encore Greenway and Gateway Construction. Director Sisevich, you have the floor.
I'll wait for Councilman Hypes here for a second. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you and I is the award for the Encore Greenway Gateway project. This is a T-Splosh 1 project that we've been working on for numerous years, and I'm very pleased to be bringing it forward to all of you for award. The bid came in at $9,148,000. We had two bidders. Strack Incorporated was the low bidder. Their project manager is extremely well-versed in this project of this scale. He has been working previously with Astra Group, who's been doing numerous phases of the Atlanta Beltline project. So he's versed of tight working conditions, raised boardwalks, so he is extremely qualified to handle this project for us. Additionally, we've had partners on this project from the get-go. You may recall that we are only working on phase 1 of this project, which is a direct connection of the Greenway to the Greenway from Encore at North Point Parkway. CID, True North 400, jumped in and they funded more dollars towards the design so we could do the whole entire project. They did not stop there. They've also allocated $1.5 million towards the construction of this project. In front of you is a MOU that they awarded at their last council meeting. Many thanks to Councilman Merkel and Dorito for attending that meeting and getting us through the finish line. And they didn't stop there. They decided to put in more dollars towards the construction administration of this project. So this has been a win-win all around. We're looking at an 18-month project for this, and part of the challenge is working in the wetlands, in the floodplain, and along North Point Parkway. So we are closing, the contractor has permission to close one lane of North Point Parkway, fronting their development for staging of their equipment, their materials, as well as just general safety for the contractor. If we didn't allow that closure, they could only do the work between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So this opens up them, excuse me, this opens up their capabilities of doing more work longer throughout the day. So with that, I am open to answering any questions.
Do we have any questions for Director Sisevich? Well done, sir. Thank you. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak on this item, now's your chance. Seeing none, close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mayor. I move to approve the award of a contract for ITB 24-014 to Strack Inc., the construction of Encore Greenway Park and Gateway for an amount not to exceed $9,148,000. MOU with True North 400 and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Dorito and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Any discussion? Councilman Hypes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Had a little bit of time a little bit ago to look back on a little bit of the history of what we've done as a city to advance our commitment to a walkable city. And looking back, I saw on July 25th of 2022, we authorized $1.25 million for the Alpha Link to connect Haynes Bridge over to Encore. That was the study part. Part of that money was granted to us. And then a week later, on August 1st, 2022, this council authorized $15 million for the Alpha Loop extension from Old Milton Parkway down to North Winds, which has now been completed. It's just drop dead gorgeous. And in terms of connecting the Greenway and the Loop, we now have the opportunity, depending on the outcome of this vote, to commit another $9.1 million from a variety of sources for this Encore gateway to eventually connect the loop. So since August or end of July of 2022, the commitment of this city towards a walkable city with a first-class, world-class trail system, just on those 3 projects, and there's been many more, is $25.35 million. I say that with immense pride as a council member for this city. It gets people walking so that they can greet their neighbors. It's healthy for us. It gets cars off the street. I think it's transformative for us as a city. And I know it takes a lot of hard work, and there's been a lot of partners. My hat's off to the CID and my fellow council members who have been overseeing and working with the CID and other agencies to get dollars, and most of the dollars, again, coming from the Parks Bond and T-SPLOST. So this is a very exciting thing for me. There's more sections to be built and completed, but when I joined council in 2018, I could not in my wildest dreams have envisioned the progress that we have made in the last 6 years. It was all theoretical, it was just a map, and now it's a real true trail system, and I guess we're 18 months away from further connection. So I applaud everybody who's involved in this.
Any other discussion? I'd just like to note that we really appreciate the partnership with True North and their investment in the city of Alpharetta to help create the vibrant city that we all anticipate, and especially along that corridor, because we all know that the North Point corridor has been a focus of the city for a long time. Yep. So with this ability to build an exciting park as an entrance between the Greenway and downtown Alpharetta, I think it's going to be a game changer for that entire corridor. So we're very grateful for their support. Yep. That being said, all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Pete. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward, now's your chance to do so. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do we have reports this evening? I do believe that we have an executive session necessary this evening. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor. Litigation, land acquisition.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a motion to recess into executive session? So moved. We have a motion by Councilman Dorito. Who was the second? Okay. Second by, in discussion, all those in favor of recessing into executive session, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. We will return shortly.
That's the hope. Like a lengthy list.
Oh, we got Priya. So do we have a motion to reconvene the city council meeting?
Like to make,
Second.
Motion by Councilman Brady, second by Mayor Pro Tem.
That'll work.
Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your, well, we can actually vote now.
Hit your screen again.
I did. I thought I did.
Starting over, people. Well,
Well,
we had 4 votes anyways. Attaboy.
and we have reconvened. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Dorito. All those in favor of adjourning this city council meeting, vote yes. And we are adjourned.